Hello, this is Zach Gimignani with Juice Analytics. I wanted to share with you how to put together a dashboard of COVID cases in your school district. This is something that a colleague of mine put together recently for her county schools, and we were really impressed with what she put together. And I wanted to show you how I would put it together pretty quickly. So this is what she did. She got some data from her schools. They're tracking COVID cases, quarantines, and she put all that information into Juicebox, both looking by school and trending. And she even put a map in here with locations. So this is a really useful tool if you want to take all this data that's out there on different websites and make it accessible to parents who are struggling with whether they should put their kids back in school or not, or what's going on. So I thought maybe we could put something together like this for Williamson County, which is the school district that I'm in. So I did a search and I was able to find that they recently started to put together data in Williamson County and break it out by schools, which is something new. So let's get started with this. So what I would do here is simply copy this table of data out of here. So, the first step in building an application like this is you got to gather up the data and you got to do a little bit of cleaning on this data as well. So I'm just going to, fortunately, that HTML table is easy to copy and easy to paste. I pasted it to a Google Doc. I'm actually going to change some of these labels because as we start to build the application, we want to make this as simple and readable as possible. So we're going to just call this confirmed positive cases. And then we're going to, the second column in here is actually quarantine due to exposure, is what we'll say. So those are those columns. One of the things that they did in this data, they have it broken out by school, but they don't want to show if they're less than 5 cases. So that doesn't do too well in an analytical application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find all those cases where they say less than 5, and just arbitrarily I'm going to replace that with 3. So we have a number to work with. So that's sort of like the average. So I'm going to replace all those. Okay, let's try this again. Find this. Match entire cell, replace all. Done. Okay, not happy with that. Find. Sorry, I was saying greater than 5 instead of less than 5, stupidly. All right. That is not great. Okay. 3, replace all. Okay. I think we've finally done that. Okay. The other little trick I want to put in here is that in Susan's app, she was able to break out the different types of schools, elementary, middle, high school. So I'm going to see if I can pull that data out of here. The other thing I want to put in here is a date because I'm hoping that they're going to be updating this data. Data was last updated on the 6th. So we'll just put a date in there so that when we start updating the data, we have that. We start to show trending. But here, let me show you how I split this out. Use this function split, which is one of my favorites now. And what that does is it takes a field and it splits it out like that. And then sometimes you have things that have multiple splits, so it's a little offset. We're going to fix that. So do a little formula. If this is blank, then that, else this one. So that should combine those two things. One of the things you got to make sure you do when you're messing with this is that you always paste things as values, so you have those formulas don't get messed up. School type, and that's our data. We got we got some numbers in here. We got the school name, school type, the date, which will get better as we add more data. So all I do here is I'm going to download this as a CSV file. And we're going to save that. And now we can start building our Juicebox application. So we're in Juicebox. We're going to give it a name. Williamson County COVID cases. In our little, we're going to skip that for now, and we're going to give it a color and bold, and we're going to go ahead and create our application. So there's not a lot of data here, but the really valuable thing in Juicebox is the ability to create something that's easy to share, visualize that data, make it a little more accessible. So let's go find that application right here. And we're really trying to create something that I could share with other parents, show people what's going on, give other people an opportunity to look at this data. Maybe they haven't been able to find it on the site, or maybe it's a lot just easier to consume in this way. So we're going to go to the data tab, upload this data file that we had created. This is going to load this data into Juicebox and give us an opportunity to define the data ingredients that we use to build this. We're going to build the visualizations. So once that is loaded, we're going to see all the different fields that came in here. We want to make sure that these things make sense. So school, these are the numbers we're dealing with, the date, school type. So we got everything in there. We just press add automatically and add all those 5 ingredients. Those are the building blocks for the application that we're going to create here. We're going to make something very, very simple. So we're going to go into the design mode. We have this first slice that maybe we'll make this a little bit smaller so doesn't take up so much room. And then when we get into exploring the data, there's some default things that we put in there, but let's look at we're going to have our overall key metrics. So of course the thing people want to know is how many confirmed positive cases there are and how many kids are in quarantine, children and staff. So we're adding those 2 numbers. Those are kind of our overall key numbers. And then the next thing we want to do as that loads up is we're going to add in a breakout by schools. So that will be a bar chart. We can choose schools. We can choose, because we want to give people the ability to choose between positive cases or quarantine, we can choose both of those and save that. I will call this breakout by schools. Save that. Call this overall measures. We should see this application load up on the right to be able to see what we've put together. Need a little refresh there to get it going this morning, and then we're going to see the breakout by confirmed cases and quarantine due to exposure. So we have a little application here. It's very, very simple. It's got we've added up all the numbers. We can see a breakout by schools. One of the things, I made that extra measure to be able to look at different school types. So that might be a filter that we want to add at the very top here. So we say filters. We have school types. We can save that. And that will give you a chance if you want to just choose middle schools or elementary schools, if you want to sort of focus your exploration of that. You can do that. So a very, very simple application here. Ultimately, once we're done, we publish this. And the great thing about Juicebox is that we get this sharing link, and really you can just take that link and you go share it with anyone who you'd like to have access to this application. So, this is the type of thing that if they start refreshing the data, I will update the data and I will share with some of my friends, and then everybody gets a chance to have more visibility, easier understanding of this data, and can make some informed decisions about their own kids. Thanks for your time.